Millennials. Those born between 1981 and 1996 are often called the most burned-out generation in modern history. Not because they're weak, but because they're the generation that did everything right and still feel like life isn't working. Millennials grew up with a very clear belief: if you study hard, work hard, and follow the right path, your life will be stable. They were taught to get good grades, go to college, find a stable job, and everything else would fall into place. Their parents, mostly from older generations, truly believed hard work always pays off. And in their time, that was often true. But for millennials, that belief became something deeper. A promise. A promise that said, if you do everything right, life won't fail you. Over time, they didn't just try to succeed. They tied their self-worth to achievement. I am what I accomplish. Then they stepped into the real world. And for the first time, the script stopped working. The 2008 financial crisis hit. Graduates couldn't find jobs, and those who did were underpaid and unstable. The cost of living rose. Home ownership felt out of reach. And for the first time, millennials faced a hard truth. Hard work doesn't guarantee results. This wasn't just financial, it was psychological. Because when you've believed in a system your entire life and it stops working, you don't just question the system. You start questioning yourself. What did I do wrong? Why am I still not enough? Millennials are a bridge generation. They had a childhood without social media, but grew up into a world dominated by it. They understand real life, but live in a constant stream of curated lives. On social media, everyone seems ahead. Everyone seems happier. Everyone seems like they've figured it out. And that creates a quiet, constant pressure. Comparison. Slowly, self-worth stops coming from within and starts depending on where you stand compared to everyone else. For millennials, work is no longer stable. It's uncertain, competitive, and constantly changing. They have to switch jobs to grow income, keep learning new skills, build side hustles just to feel secure. But here's the paradox. The more they do, the less it feels like enough. Because the world keeps moving, and there's always someone doing better. Rest starts to feel like guilt, because deep down, there's always a voice saying, if I slow down today, I'll fall behind tomorrow. So they keep going, even when they're already exhausted. Millennials aren't afraid of love. They're afraid of instability. When finances feel uncertain, careers feel fragile, and the future feels unpredictable, commitment becomes heavier. They delay marriage. They delay having children. Not because they don't care, but because they don't feel ready to build something stable on an unstable foundation. Inside millennials is a constant contradiction. They believe in hard work, but no longer trust that it works. They want to rest, but feel guilty when they do. They want to be authentic, but feel pulled by expectations from society and family. This isn't weakness. It's what happens when you're raised with one set of rules and forced to live in a completely different reality. They're trying to play by the rules in a game that has already changed. If you have parents, siblings, or loved ones who are millennials, there's something you should understand. They are not lazy. They are not lacking effort. In fact, they've been trying for a very long time. What they might need is not more advice like, try harder, be stronger, but something much simpler. You don't have to hold it all together anymore. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You are already enough. Sometimes, just being seen and having someone understand how tired they really are, is where healing begins. Millennials are the generation that tried the hardest to do everything right, and yet received the least predictable rewards. And maybe what they need right now is not to push harder, but to finally allow themselves to pause, to breathe, and to recognize they've already come a long way. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing, not just for more content, but for more moments like this.